We'll have more on the secrets of commercial animation a little later in the programme. Now, arguably Britain's most famous car, Aston Martin, is celebrating 100 years this year. And who could resist the opportunity to get behind the wheel of the James Bond icon? We're standing in this beautiful, well-appointed showroom in northern Johannesburg. We have two cars with us. I've seen this one somewhere before. Where?
Yes, you're probably recalling it, Jeremy, from the James Bond movie that it appeared in, The Vanquish, 2006 it came out. It was a famous Bond car, classic name. Vanquish was one of the very first Astons, and it was in this exact colour. In the Aston movie.
Conceivably, the Mags on Media budget has some money to buy this one. It's beautiful. But there's also a Bond. There's also a Bond heritage with that one there.
Correct. The DBS from Casino Royale. That's a convertible version, but first appeared in Casino Royale with Daniel Craig. Fantastic car. Replaced the Vanquish. So this car ran from about 2003 to 2009. And the DBS replaced the car.
That tie-up with James Bond, I'm a little bit critical, I'm a little bit cynical about it. Is it really that important?
Look, for us, the hookup's fantastic. I think it's been a huge success pairing Bond with Aston. It just fits the whole genre, you know, super slick, gentleman sports car, whole spy, thriller type vibe of an Aston.
Guys like us, yeah.
Exactly, just like us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started in 1967 with Goldfinger.
That's right.
We drove a DB5.
Yeah.
So, long way. Now it's come full circle. The latest movie, he was back in a DB5.
This is Skyfall here.
Skyfall.
It was critical. If I walk into the showroom, I see the words power, beauty and soul. In your own words, describe the brand to me. What is it actually trying to say to the potential customer?
Well, I think Aston, Aston's all about the discerning sports car owner, the gentleman sports car. It's got a real feel-good factor. Okay, so beauty, the lines, definitely the most beautiful car, supercar out there. Due to the hand-built manufacturing process, you can't get these kind of lines, mass-produced factory type of stuff. It's the kind of car you drive in the traffic, you drive other supercar brands, people sometimes, look at you in not such a good light, and Aston always gets a thumbs up. Someone always shouts James Bond. It's just a feel-good brand from that look, the heritage, the feel. It's got soul, it's got tons of soul.
In terms of who's buying it, I mean, these things come with a fairly hefty price tag. Yes. In South Africa, which is a tough developing economy, you're going to tell me that there is still a market for these vehicles?
Good market, yes. We're retailing about 100 cars a year in South Africa, and we've become one of the better markets in the world for Aston Martin. So a huge uptake, about 700 cars over the last 7 years on the road. So quite a large car park now.
And the kind of the customer profile, I mean, you can name names if you want to. Probably you don't want to do that. Discretion is important. But I mean, typically who's
mostly entrepreneurs, a lot of property developers, guys in mining, private equity, banking, mostly entrepreneurs, who've started up their own business. A lot of people buying it as a sign of success. They get to a certain pinnacle in their life, they buy the cars, they reward to themselves. And also guys who are looking for more understated.
That's exactly
it. Say they've arrived, but not shouted.
It's an understated brand statement that people are making. Yes. Aston Martin turns 100. It was born in a garage. What can you tell us about the brand's pedigree?
Company started, 100 years ago. Amazing. 1913. Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford got together, decided to build a car. They wanted to race it in a classic hill climb event called the Aston Hill Climb in England. And built a car, won the hill climb the year later in that first car they ever built. And that's where the name came from. That's where Aston joined Martin from the Aston Hill Climb and Lionel Martin. And the brand was born.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, 100 years of it.
What about brand leverage? Is that important? You look at so many high-end sports vehicles, supercars as you call them. There's the jacket, the key rings where they've gone into clothing brands and all sorts of other things. Is that important to a brand like this? Do you do that?
We do it very subtly. Aston's not a brand that likes to shout about it. You won't find coffee cups and a million key rings being sold in retail stores and that. Whatever you can buy with an Aston brand, you'll buy in the showroom. And we do it more as gifting with a client when he buys a car. Very subtle branding, luggage sets, more premium product than your normal memorabilia, merchandise type that you get from other brands. So there's not a mass production
strategy here, just like the vehicle as well. Hey?
No.
And the next 100 years, I mean, how do you keep a brand like this alive, do you think?
It's a brand that's had quite a checkered past in terms of shareholding. I think it's changed ownership.
It's had its ups and downs, hasn't it?
I think about 7 times it's changed ownership. And it's in a very stable position now, good investors behind the brand. I think it's going to have to move with technology. They've always had the most beautiful cars. And as they've got more and more investment, they've advanced in the technology side. And where we're going in the future, I don't know if we'll see so many V12s anymore. That is Aston's heritage. But with emissions and being green and eco-friendly, everyone's going V8 turbos, smaller engines. So I think that'll be the next step for Aston.
Just a final one. I guess you get to drive one of these home every once in a while.
Yes.
Can you try and articulate the visceral brand experience for us? It's all about seeing, but it's also about what you smell. And perhaps in this particular instance, it's also about what you hear.
There's nothing like a V12. The growl of the V12, starting up these cars, there's nothing that sounds like an Aston. Climbing in the car, everything's hand-stitched. You know, if you go to the factory in Gaydon and see the dashboard put together by hand, ladies are stitching them up there together, the leather, the smell of the hides, the quality of the materials used, sapphire crystal on the buttons on the dash, now the brands do it. It's an entire brand experience, not just about the way the car drives. It's just climbing in, starting it, looking at it. Even before you're driving the car, you've experienced a myriad of classic brand attributes.
We're going to walk down there now. What have you lined up for us?
I've lined up the Rapide, the world's most beautiful four-door sports car. And we're going to go for a little ride. V12 engine. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, Jeremy.
Let's go and do it.
Great.
Certainly makes one feel good, even if it's just for one very brief hour. Now, Mags on Media is heading to the Lions International Festival of Creativity in the south of France very shortly. It's the global showcase of creativity. As a foretaste, here then are the 10 most downloaded ads on YouTube since last year's event.
The screenplay on your home computer. That presentation at work. Those vacation photos and videos on your phone. The trip itinerary on your tablet. Resumes, recipes, videos. With Google Drive, you can now access your files from wherever you are.
You okay? Good. Yo, we need another player. Yo, I think my Uncle Drew could play.
You want me to take it?
Man, just get the smallest person on the court. Help him. He's really slow. Oh! Oh, man.
Might not remember us, but we met in the 90s. We are members of Generation Y, as in yin yang, yo-yo. Life moved a little slower. Discs were square, desktop folders had personality. Extra storage space was just a zipper away. There was only one social network, but most of your friends died of dysentery.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice and easy. You'll just head on out and whenever you're ready.
Are you ready to go ahead and drive? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Oh. Whoa. That's all right.
A little more than I'm used to.
Oh, it's got some power, so just get a feel for it. Okay. Okay, all right. But ease off just a little. Ease up.
Hey, buddy.
Surprise.
Surprise, mamacita.
Hey. Surprise, Batman.
Guess who brought a jet to a gunfight?
Incoming.
Messi?
Hey, kid.
Kobe Bryant?
Would you like to have some ice cream, young man?
Ice cream?
Sí.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.